Hello, everyone, and welcome to the live webinar with Bangor University. I will be your host today. My name is Bashir Ahmed. I'm from BWBS Education Consultants. Today, we have the regional manager for South Asia of Bangor University, Morgan Edwards, with us. Morgan, do you want to say hello to the viewers?
Thanks, Bashir. Hi, everyone. Pleasure to be here today. Hopefully, I can answer a lot of your questions about studying in the UK, either this September or in January. We're going to talk about a lot of things like our course offering, our scholarship, our accommodation, and there'll be a chance for you to ask me some questions at the end of the presentation as well. So really look forward to speaking with you, and yeah.
Fantastic, thank you. Just to shed some light on who we are as an agency, we provide counseling and full application support to place international students into UK universities. We are a British Council certified agent and also a UCAS registered agency. Majority of our consultants are formal international students who experience the difficulties and opportunities UK higher education provides. So they come from a variety of nationalities and they have been trained by our trusted university partners. Our head office is in London. We speak 20 different languages across our 15 plus branch offices in 12 countries globally. All our consultants are expertly trained to give you the best possible free, accurate and impartial advice. BWBS represents 60 plus UK higher education institutions, and we have a 98% visa success rate and 99.6% student satisfaction rate. Our branch offices are based in India, Pakistan, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nigeria, Ghana, Philippines, Morocco. The services we provide include free one-to-one admission counseling, guaranteed scholarships with our partner universities, fast application processing, quick offer letters, university's own internal test, personal statement writing guidance, credibility and visa interview preparation guidance, visa application assistance, airport pickup, and career guidance. Now I will pass it over to Morgan to talk about Bangor University's offerings for September 2021 and beyond, and he will probably do a presentation to take you through the offerings. Off you go, Morgan.
Thanks, Bashir. Just open my presentation here. So hopefully you can see that. Is that okay, Bashir?
Yeah, it's visible. Yeah.
Great, thanks. So yeah, hello everyone again. You know, my name is Morgan Edwards, and I'm the regional manager for South Asia here in Bangor. I'm responsible for recruiting international students and giving you guys advice about studying in the UK, studying in Bangor. And I really hope I can give you enough information today to allow you to make a decision about whether Bangor is right for you or not. I've given my email address here. Very happy for you to make a note of that, and you can email me if you have any questions in the future. I'm also available via WhatsApp as well, which is my mobile number there. So to get straight into the presentation, you'll recognize this picture as a very busy London. Now, this was not a recent picture. This is, definitely before COVID times. But this is what London typically looks like. It's a very, very busy, crowded place, very cramped location, busy streets, and of course, very expensive. That's not to say, Bashir is in a bad part of the country having his office in London. That's where, the capital of the UK, a very important city. But what I would ask you, would you rather be in that previous picture, or would you rather be in this picture? Now, this picture is taken, about 10 minutes away from Bangor University in Snowdonia National Park, which is one of the most beautiful national parks anywhere in the UK. Beautiful mountains, beautiful lakes, rivers. And on the other side, we're actually located next to the sea as well. So we're a very unique university in that we're next to the mountains and we're next to the sea. And Bangor University's location has always been one of our key selling points before COVID times. But I think because of COVID, it's become even more important to us. You know, people don't really want to be in these high population areas, you know, these urban environments. They want to have a better quality of life. They want to have more space and freedom to move and do things. And that's something which Bangor can offer you. Now, fortunately today we've got, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 minutes for the presentation as well as a Q&A. But if I only had 5 minutes to speak with you today, these would be the 3 things that I would want you to remember about Bangor University.
Morgan, just one thing. Is it possible to full screen?
Yeah, I can try full screen. Is that better?
It's the same, I guess.
I've made it full screen.
Just try to make it a bit bigger.
Okay, yeah, I can try doing that.
If you press the full screen, it doesn't work. Full screen is probably the...
I mean, it does on my side, but...
Okay, right. No, it's not on full screen here.
Okay, that's... Let's see what it's showing. I mean, it's hopefully readable to the students, but you know, we'll
yeah.
try.
Okay, let's carry on because the full screen is not working probably. Yeah, let's just continue.
Okay. So these are the 3 main things I would ask you to remember about Bangor University. So the first is that we're very cost effective. So I know that for students in South Asia, where you know most of the students will be from today, cost is a very important consideration, and Bangor does, you know, deliver very cost-effective teaching and living. So 2019, we were the #1 for the lowest cost of living in the UK, and we're regularly in the top 5 for that. Our tuition fees are very competitive with other universities who are ranked similarly to us, and we have some really good scholarships as well, which I will talk about later on. Second thing to remember is that we're very strong both in the UK and globally in subjects that matter. Now, what I mean by subjects that matter are the ones that are having a really important impact on the world that we live in and the future that we're moving into as well. So, for example, the School of Psychology is doing some important research into mental health, mental well-being, which is very important because lots of people have been struggling with their mental health because of COVID. Environmental sciences were very strong, areas like climate change, global warming, sustainability. Computer sciences, so things like artificial intelligence and AI. We're very strong in these areas, and if those are subjects that you're interested in, then Bangor should definitely be somewhere that you consider. And then finally, location. I've already mentioned the location, but it is really one of the key selling points about our institution, is that it's an incredibly beautiful location that allows you to have much more freedom and space compared to the big cities in the UK. Bashir, there seems to be a little bit of interference maybe from your side of the microphone. Could you maybe just mute it? Sorry,
mute
for the time being. Thanks. That's great. So here we just have some more, you know, accolades or awards that the university has. So we're gold rated for our teaching quality, which is the highest you can get. Now, not every university in the UK is gold for their teaching. So you should make sure that when you're choosing a university that is gold for its teaching, so you're going to get the highest possible framework. What I should say quickly about this is that this is going to change. So it's currently called TEF Gold rated. The awarding body for this is changing how they measure and what they call it. So you might not see this. You might not be able to find this in other universities for the next couple of months whilst they're changing this. But I'm very confident that Bangor will still be in that highest bracket when the new award system is released. As I mentioned, lowest cost of living in the UK 2019, best university for clubs and societies in 2019. So that's important because it shows you that Bangor University is a great place for you to come and, you know, try new things, to experience new activities, new sports, new hobbies, and meet new people with a different background, a different way of thinking. So that's a really good thing. Best for student accommodation 2018. And then this next one I think is particularly important. So everything else is kind of chosen by a man in a suit who sits in an office, who never goes to these universities. this National Student Survey, the NSS, is chosen by students who are studying in that university. So arguably, this is the most important one. And for the last 4 years in a row, Bangor has been the top 15 university for overall student satisfaction. Now, I've only used top 15 because this year we were 14th. All the other years we were top 10. So you can see that we're still incredibly high for overall student satisfaction. We have a very global outlook in Bangor University, both in sense of our student community, but the way that we teach our students and the interaction that happens. So you can see here just some of the countries that are represented on campus. There's over 90 countries, 90 nationalities that are represented on our campus. So it means you're going to have a great opportunity to meet people from different backgrounds, different countries, different ways of thinking about things and viewing the world. And that's really important for the world that we now live in, because we live in a global world and you're interacting, you have to interact and understand people from different places to be successful in business, in your careers. And you're definitely going to get that exposure in Bangor. So you can see here a list of the major subject areas that we offer in Bangor University. And as you would expect from any major university, we offer all of the ones which are most popular. So for example, business and MBAs, computer sciences, electronic engineering, law, and psychology. However, we also offer some more specific subject areas that are growing in interest in South Asia. So for example, biomedical sciences, environmental sciences, healthcare nursing, Islamic banking and finance, and ocean sciences as well. So a fantastic range of subjects. I'm very confident that whatever it is you're looking to study, Bangor will have a course that is good for you. Now, obviously, when you're thinking about which university you want to study at, the overall ranking of the university will be important, but it's also important to consider the subject ranking for your specific subject. And I'm very happy to say that in all of the most popular subject areas in South Asia and Africa and other countries as well, other regions, Bangor is very highly ranked in the most popular subject areas. So business and MBA were 12th in the UK for course satisfaction and 38th for MBAs. Computer science were 25th for course satisfaction. Electronic engineering, top 10 for both student experience and course satisfaction. Law were 23rd. Psychology, top 5 for both course and teaching satisfaction. So you can see that whatever you're going to choose, you're going to have a very highly ranked department to make sure that you're getting the best, highest quality teaching available to you. Now, I know we're probably going to have students from all over the world joining us today, most of them who will probably be from South Asia. So I'm just going to very quickly run through the entry requirements for the specific countries. But what I would say is that if you want the specific entry requirements for your country, please make sure you visit our website, which is www.bangor.ac.uk. I can maybe show you the exact page later on. So yeah, I mean, you can see for yourselves here, just very quickly, if you're from India, these are the entry requirements for you for both undergraduate and postgraduate. If you're a student from Pakistan and you're joining us today, then these would be the entry requirements for you. A quick thing to note is that the only country where we're accepting an MOI letter at the moment is India in South Asia. Hopefully in the future, we will also accept one from Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and Nepal as well. But at the moment, it's only India we can accept an MOI. And then for Bangladesh, these are the entry requirements for Bangladesh as well. Again, you'd require IELTS, Duolingo, or another English language qualification to get onto the program. I do have some more slides for the Sri Lanka and Nepal as well, but I'm not sure if there are that many students from those countries joining us today. If there are, please ask a question at the end, and I can cover that. I can cover that later. So in terms of the tuition fees, these are the fees.
Sorry to interrupt. Do you have one for Sri Lanka?
Yeah, we've gone for Sri Lanka.
Yeah. So Sri Lanka, I have a question. Normally, some universities, they accept the O-level grade C in English to waive off from IELTS requirement. Is it the same for Bangor?
Yeah, it is the same for Bangor, but it has to be from a specific examination body, the Cambridge examination body. It can't be from. There are some other examination bodies in Sri Lanka who deliver O levels and A levels. So as long as it's from a recognised one, we can waive IELTS from Sri Lanka.
Right. And going back to the India slide, you mentioned about the standard 12. It is written on the slide. 70%. It's both for UG and PG. But the MOI, if you can clarify, it's not directly accepted. It has to be combined with the 70%, right? Or is it
correct,
just MOI that would do?
Yeah, it needs to be the 70% or more in the English 12 and the MOI, which is no older than 2 years.
2 years, okay. And the Punjab IELTS is mandatory, so it's not for Punjab. What about Haryana?
At the moment, it's only Punjab, so Haryana is 70% English 12 and an MOI.
Right, okay, good. Right, yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. So yes, tuition fees. You can see here the range of tuition fees in Bangor University for the next academic year. What I've done is I've put the range of fees for all of the undergraduate programs, and on the right-hand side, I've put the exact fees for some of our most popular courses. So hopefully, this slide gives you a very general idea about the cost, the tuition fees you might be expected to pay. Most students that we deal with from South Asia are looking for postgraduate courses, particularly MBAs, which is £17,800, but also, computer science, law and psychology. You can see there the course cost that you would be expected to pay if you joined one of those programs. Now, obviously, when you're thinking about studies, there are, tuition fees are the big cost, which everyone thinks about, but you obviously need to think about your living costs as well. You have to pay to support yourself. And as I mentioned earlier, Bangor is one of the cheaper locations in the UK to live as an international student. It's very difficult to tell you exactly how much money you will need because obviously everybody has a very different way of living, a different lifestyle. But generally speaking, students from South Asia, they tend to need about £7,000 to £8,000 per year for their living costs, which includes accommodation, entertainment, food, drink, transportation. So roughly about £8,000. And then if you consider the slide before about tuition fees, it ultimately depends on which course you're studying, but you're maybe looking from somewhere in the region of around £22,000 up to maybe £28,000 to £30,000 before scholarships. So, scholarships are a very important part of the university procedure or application procedure, and Bangor does have some very good scholarships available to our international students. Now, we are very much still open for September intake, so if you want to apply for September intake, you will definitely be considered. But what I should say is that the top 2 scholarships here, the Vice Chancellor's Scholarship and Professional Experience Scholarship, are no longer open for September intake, but they are open for January intake. Now, I will go through these quite slowly and in a bit of detail because I know scholarships are important, as I said. And if you have any more questions, we can answer them at the end. So the Vice Chancellor's Scholarship is our highest value scholarship, and it's for 50% off your tuition fees. It's available to both undergraduate students and postgraduate students. If it's undergraduate, you get 50% off your first year fees and then £3,000 in year 2 and year 3. If you're a postgraduate student, it's just 50% off the 1 year fees. So usually it amounts to about £8,000 or £9,000 scholarship, depending on your course. It's only available to first class students, so you have to have a first class degree. and you need to apply via application form. Now, as I said, the deadline for this September for this scholarship is closed. It's already passed, but it will reopen for our January intake. And I would anticipate that it will open around August or September time. So keep an eye on the website, or you can speak with Bashir and his team. They can check on the website for you. The second scholarship, the Professional Experience Scholarship, is again aimed at more mature students who have 2 years or more managerial experience. And it's up to £4,000 scholarship, so it's a reasonable scholarship. But again, the deadline for this for September has passed, but it will reopen again for January. And again, you do need to submit a separate application there. The bottom two scholarships are automatic scholarships. So the only thing that you need to do to get them is apply to the university. Submit your application with Bashir and his team, and you will get a scholarship offer with your offer letter. The Dean Scholarship, you need to be a first-class student to get it, up to £5,000. If you're below first class, then you'll be up to £3,000 with our international scholarship. Lots of people ask me this question. You can only have one of these scholarships, but you will always be given the one with the highest amount. The only one where that's an exception is the Professional Experience Scholarship. So say, for example, you got £2,000 international scholarship, you might be able to get another £2,000 from the Professional Experience Scholarship as well. So that's the only one which is a little bit unique, but hopefully that's answered most of the questions. Usually it doesn't. So if you do have any questions about the scholarships, I can answer those later on.
Morgan, just one thing with the Professional Experience Scholarship, right? So is there a definition of it on the website? How does it happen? Like, what is the definition of professional experience?
Professional experience is generally classified as someone who has managerial experience for 2 years or more. So they have to have experience of managing a team, a project, a company, or something like that. Generally speaking, the job title will have manager in it, and they have to have 2 years or more experience in the position. So if it's like an executive role or a junior account, I wouldn't apply. It has to be, you have to be a kind of mid-level kind of position to be eligible for it.
Yeah, and then 2 years.
Yeah.
Minimum. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's cool. Thank you.
Thanks. So that's kind of the boring stuff out the way, I suppose, about the thing that every university is going to tell you. So your studies are obviously incredibly important. That's the main reason why people go to university. But the other reason people go is for a very exciting time, a new adventure. And Bangor is an incredible place to come if you want excitement, if you want to try new things and really enjoy yourself. This picture is just a perfect example of the things that we have on offer. It's taken about 10 minutes away from Bangor University in a car. And basically, at the top of the mountain there is a little building, and they tie you to this wire and they throw you off the mountain, and you can travel up to 100 miles an hour down this hill. It's very exciting, very cool, and I highly recommend it.
Have you tried it yourself?
I have, yeah. I took my girlfriend on it, and she was a little bit scared, but it's very cool. It's very exciting. Highly recommend it.
Okay.
So just to give you guys an idea about where Bangor is located, you can see it on the left-hand side of the map here, located in North Wales, Northwest Wales, and there's very good access to the rest of the UK. So, very easy to go to somewhere like London, Birmingham, Manchester for a weekend, for an evening, to go out shopping or go for some nice food or anything like that. It's very easy to get around the UK from Bangor. It has a main train station in the heart of the city, but you're next to the mountains, the national park, you're next to the coastline, so the location is unrivaled. But if you want that kind of big city feel, then it's very easy to get around as well. Again, just some more pictures here of the local area. So you can see the top left picture, beautiful golden sands, a blue sea and a blue sky. I was actually at this very same place just a week or two ago, and it looked exactly like this. It's summer, obviously, in the UK, and the weather, generally speaking, has been very, very nice, very warm and beautiful. Obviously, it rains. You can see on the right-hand side. But, it's a fantastic place to come, and you have this on your doorstep in Bangor. If you're in London, you're not going to have this. And if you did, it will be full of people. There's something for everyone. I like to say there's something for everyone in North Wales where Bangor is located. Something, if you like adventure, if you like adrenaline, if you like history, culture, food, the environment, there's something for you here. Obviously, for many of you students watching today, this will be the first time that you're traveling overseas. You're traveling by yourself, without your family, to a country you've never visited with different language, and that can be quite a scary thing to do, especially if you're younger, maybe 18, fresh out of high school. So it's really important for me to tell you that we have a very good international student support team who have been working for many, many years, giving international students advice and support on a range of topics to make them feel comfortable here in the UK, advising them on things like finances, immigration, visas, healthcare, and a range of other issues. It's also important for me to mention that there are lots of student societies, student groups in Bangor. So we have an Indian student society, a Pakistani student society, a Bangladeshi student society, and many, many more. Things for sports, for cricket, for hockey, for photography. Anything you want to do, you will find like-minded people here who can look after you and make you feel safe and welcome. I will talk about the COVID situation. We can't ignore that, unfortunately. I will talk about that later on at the end of the session in the question and answers, because it's a bit of a long answer. Just a few more slides, and then we will open the question and answer session. So, as I mentioned earlier, business studies and MBAs are some of the most popular programs that we see for South Asian students. And it's really important to tell you that Bangor has 11 different MBAs. Most universities, they only have 1 or 2 MBAs, and they're quite general, but that doesn't accurately reflect the world of business. Business is a very diverse industry that's made up of lots of different parts that come together to make a business. So, for example, we have MBAs in finance, international marketing, law and management. We're the only university in the UK at the moment that has a law and management MBA. Environmental management, so maybe you're somebody who is interested in business, but you either want to make a business more sustainable, more environmentally friendly, or you want to work in a business who focuses on their environmental impact, who delivers environmental solutions. So we've got a great range of MBAs here that offer both the MBA, but also professional qualification as part of the degree. Not every MBA program offers professional qualification as part of the degree. So, that's a really important thing for you to consider as well in Bangor. In terms of electronic engineering, we offer some...
Sorry to interrupt once again. For MBA, is work experience required?
So no, you don't need work experience. You can come straight from your undergraduate degree, straight onto the business program, the MBA program. You don't need work experience at all.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Electronic engineering. We actually have the oldest electronics engineering department in the UK, but we're still one of the highest ranked departments for this field in the UK, which shows that we've been delivering the highest quality in this department for many, many years, longer than anybody else. Some of the research specialisms you can see there: broadband and optical communications, 5G research, which is a really big area of research at the moment, nanotechnology and microfabrication, so for things like laptops, computers, mobile phones, everything that we use nowadays, every piece of technology contains these things. So Bangor is very, very strong in this area, and also computer sciences as well. So I mentioned earlier things like artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data, virtual reality, quantum computing. So, the computer sciences, electronic engineering, we're very, very strong. And then just finally, these are some of the companies where our graduates have gone on to join after studying in Bangor. And you will recognize these companies as some of the biggest, most famous companies in the world. And they have extremely difficult recruitment processes. So their interview process, their application process is very, very hard because they only hire the best people. So the fact that Bangor's graduates have gone on to join some of the biggest, best companies in the world tells you that Bangor's graduates are some of the best in the world. And that might sound like a bit of an exaggeration, but I personally think it's accurate because they've gone on to join these companies. And if you join us and you work hard, then there's no reason why you guys can't also join these types of companies in the future.
I would add up one thing here in relation to the big companies. The data, this is not claimed individually by Morgan or anyone else. This is actually backed up by data and statistics, which is available on their websites as well. So some of you might be thinking, oh, is it really true? But, in the UK, there is a strict process of, showing statistics, and it is actually real, unlike some other countries. So this is very much possible for you to join.
Yeah, I think that's a really important point, Bashir, is that unfortunately we live in a world where people can throw out, some kind of claim like this. Oh, I work for this company, or I've been employed by this company. But like Bashir is saying, the UK, we're governed by very strict rules that prevent us from lying. Basically, I'm not allowed to lie in these presentations. So when I tell you that our graduates have gone on to join these companies, it's not a lie, because I'd get into big trouble if I was lying. And as Bashir says, we have data, we have records to prove this. We wouldn't be able to share them with you directly because that was, there's laws around data protection in the UK. But I can guarantee you, without any kind of question, that these people have gone on to join, these big companies. So yeah, thanks for that clarification, Bashir. And that's the end of the presentation, everyone. So thanks very much for sitting through. Hopefully it gave you a lot more information about Bangor University, who we are, what we do, what we can offer, and maybe we might be the right university for you. I'm sure there will be lots of questions from students and maybe Bashir himself, which I'm happy to answer. So thanks, and I welcome the questions.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was a nice presentation, detailed, I would say. Yeah, we have questions, but before that, we go on to the viewers' questions and answer session. I have some questions. First thing, what sort of application turnaround we're looking at? How quick is the decision when someone applies at Bangor?
Yeah, normally this question would be easy to answer. And I would say if everything is there and all the documents are provided and it's a clear case, within 48 hours, I would say. However, the situation is slightly complicated at the moment because we have seen a massive increase in applications largely because of COVID. So basically last year, lots of students chose not to come because of COVID. And now they're looking at this year and COVID's still here, but they don't want to wait again. So we have applications from last year and applications from this year. So the volume is really large. An added problem with this is that we have two members of the team who are off, unfortunately. So one is off having a baby and another one is supporting another department elsewhere. So it has caused some slight delays in our turnaround time. What we're being told by the team is it's about 2 weeks to get an offer letter. In some cases, I can speed up that decision time, that processing time. If Bashir can, mention Bashir and his team say, "Hey Morgan, we've got this really keen student who would love to join Bangor this September." I can speed up the offer and we can get it a little bit quicker. So I would say 2 weeks. But if you haven't heard anything after that, then usually I can speed up the process and we can get it within 3 weeks.
Yeah, and that's what I've been doing. If you remember, recently I've been chasing for some offers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very much possible. So standard turnaround is 2 weeks, but we can make the process faster if you are really keen. So get in touch with us, and we'll try to help you with that. So that's one thing. Second thing is the courses that you mentioned, the most popular courses. Is there any course that comes with placement? Is there any master's programs with placement or internship opportunities?
So at a master's level, we're quite limited in the number of courses with placement that we do have. There are one or two very, very specific courses. The most popular one in South Asia that has a placement is the MSc Counselling course, which is a 2-year course kind of in the psychology field for people who are interested in being, counselors in the future. That comes with a 1-year kind of placement opportunity. Whereas things like MBAs, computer science programs, we don't have placements at the moment, unfortunately. But what I would say to students who want that placement is UK master's degrees are only 1 year. So you take 1 year to focus on your studies, and then after you graduate, you will have 2-year post-study work visa. So you can stay in the UK for 2 years after you graduate. You don't need to go back to your home country, and you can focus on finding a job and working. So you spend 1 year totally focused on your studies, get a really good degree, get a good score, make yourself attractive to the job market, to employers. And then after you graduated, you spend 2 years looking for work. It won't take 2 years to find a job, but a couple of months to find a job, and then you're working for 2 years. You can focus on your work, getting the experience, and kind of earning some money as well.
Right. Okay. And what's the application deadline and the other deadlines, such as the cash request deadline, deposit deadline? Is there any place on the website that we can go and find out, or is it subjective?
Yeah, it's a bit subjective, unfortunately. I say if you're looking to come this September, I would strongly recommend that you have your application submitted by the second week of August, really. So you've got about 6 weeks from today. Now, the reason I say that is because for South Asian students, there's a lot of additional steps that you might need to take to get your visa, to get your CAS and things like that. And I know, for example, in India, there's been some long delays in visa processing. So we want to make sure that you have the best possible chance of getting your visa, but also coming to the UK and starting your studies. So I would say, first or second week of August. If you're a little bit after that, don't worry too much. We can still, probably get you an offer, but obviously the longer you leave it, the less kind of likely it is that September would be suitable for you. In terms of the CAS, again, no kind of fixed date. But because we've had experience previously of very late CAS being issued, causing a problem for the students, I would say we're looking at first or second week of September for the CAS issuance. But again, it's very dependent on an individual student. So if you are serious about coming this September, I'd really recommend get your application in with Bashir and his team as soon as possible, so that we can get you an offer letter, we can get your CAS, and you can get applied for your visa.
Right. Okay. And one more thing, the second week of August, you mentioned this is only probably applicable for the countries where there might be a possibility of priority applications, priority visa. Is it also applicable for the normal standard applications? Because it takes about 4 to 6 weeks in some cases. So
yeah, in that case, I would. Probably the beginning of August, so more for the priority service. I know that's there in India and I think Pakistan as well. I'm not too sure about Bangladesh and other countries if that's available at the moment.
Yeah, although it depends on the severity, because things are so dynamic. Even though it is available now, it might not be available next month. No one knows.
Yeah.
It depends on the situation of COVID. Yeah. Coming to the COVID side of things, what's it like in Bangor, and Is it face-to-face delivery this time, or is it blended, or how does it work?
Yeah, the COVID question was going to come up inevitably. So it's quite a big topic, and there's lots of things to cover in it, and I'll try and do my best now. So Bangor has been, or North Wales generally, and Wales generally as a country, as an entire country, has seen some of the lower rates of COVID in the UK. So I think at the moment, in the entire university, there's maybe one, maybe two cases in the entire university of COVID. But as I said, throughout the whole kind of the last, what is it, almost 2 years now, Bangor and North Wales have had relatively low COVID numbers. A really good thing is obviously the UK vaccination program is one of the best in the world. So lots and lots of people in the UK have been vaccinated against COVID. So, there are less people getting infected and less transmission of the disease. There are still measures in place, social distancing measures, and with regards to teaching specifically, the aim is to deliver as many face-to-face classes as possible in September, but there will inevitably be some online classes as well. And the exact mix will depend on the situation at any given time. So if the numbers of COVID increase, then online classes will increase. If the numbers remain low and continue to be low, then we would expect more face-to-face teaching. But I definitely think there will be more. There will definitely be more face-to-face teaching than January 2020 and January 2021 and September 2020. There will definitely be more face-to-face teaching, but it's very difficult for me to tell people exactly the mix of classes because it depends on the course as well to an extent. So, for example, if your course is more hands-on and you need to do lab experiments, then of course you can't do that on a laptop. You have to be there in person. Whereas something, for example, like English literature, where you're doing a lot of self-study, self-reading, you might not need to be face-to-face teaching in those kinds of classes. With regards to COVID, there is another thing. So as many of the students who are from South Asia might know, all of the countries in South Asia are on what's called the red list of countries in the UK, which means if you come from that country, you need to do mandatory 10-day quarantine in the UK before you can travel to your destination. So India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka, and I think Afghanistan as well are all on that list. So if you come from those countries, you have to do 10-day quarantine. Now, the cost of that service is £2,000. Unfortunately, it's very expensive and it can't be covered by things like education loans. It has to be from personal money. But some very good news is Bangor University will pay for that for you. So we will be paying for that. So you don't need to pay for that yourself. So that's a really positive bit of news for you. You don't have to pay the quarantine cost. You'll stay 10 days. You'll go from the airport straight to the hotel, and you will stay there for 10 days where all your meals will be provided for you. And you will need to do 2 negative COVID tests to be allowed to continue onto your destination. And then you just go to your university accommodation. So it's not ideal, but I know many of you have delayed your studies from last year and you just want to get on with your lives, as we all do. So it's not ideal, but it's the best solution at the moment.
And how does this quarantine cost that Bangor covers, how does it work? Bangor pays in advance, or the students come and then they pay and then they claim it back? How does it work?
So I think that the details are being finalized at the moment, Bashir, and we will be emailing all offer holders as well as agents, of course, and putting the information on our website. I think what's likely to happen is that there will be a reduction in the tuition fees. So the £2,000 will just come off the overall tuition fee cost. So students, I suppose, would still be required to pay, but then obviously they're paying less for their fees. So it balances out in a way. It wouldn't be practical for us to just give people £2,000 in cash by bank transfer, because we have hundreds of thousands of students, so it wouldn't be practical in that sense. But full details will be released soon and put on our website as well.
Okay, yeah, thank you for that. I will now go on to the question and answer session. We've got plenty of questions in the pipeline, so starting with the first one. Karthikeyan Gurusamy, university will provide quarantine facility. Yeah, so he's probably written it when we started or something. Yeah. University will provide the quarantine facility and it is going to be free, so it will probably be adjusted with the tuition fee, as Morgan mentioned. Where it is, not sure what is it. Probably he's asking about the location of the university. Yeah.
I don't mind pulling up I'll pull up the map again, just because it's easier than me describing it. So let's go back to the slide. Yeah, so you can see on the map here, this is where Bangor is located, on the left-hand side in the west of the UK. Manchester, which is a very popular, famous city, about 2 hours away on the train. Bangor to London, I'm sure he'll know where London is. That's about 3 hours away on the train. So it's very easy to travel around the UK from Bangor. I live just by this A55 here. I live about here, and it takes me 20 minutes to get to Bangor in the car. And then, I travel regularly on the train to Manchester, to London, to Birmingham as well. Very convenient to get around from Bangor. So I don't think there'll be any issues with traveling. And, the location is a beautiful location, really stunning location.
Yeah, it's Manchester, Leeds, Birmingham. All these are very close. From Bangor. Yeah. Right. Let me just take the next question. Same question is coming. What about quarantine plan in university? So the good news is Bangor will pay for the quarantine fee, and it would be published on their website. So keep your eye on the website, or do get in touch with us. We will be able to tell you what it is exactly once we hear from the university. And if you're an offer holder, you will probably get an email directly from Bangor. Next one, what is the Duolingo score being accepted for PG courses?
Yeah, thanks, Neetu. Thanks for that. So yes, because COVID closed a lot of the IELTS centres, it means that people had to, do other forms of English tests to prove their English ability. And Duolingo is the most common way for people to do that. So you can do it from your own home, on your computer. It's shorter than IELTS, it's cheaper than IELTS, and it can be treated exactly the same for entry onto the course. So for both undergraduates and postgraduates, the minimum Duolingo requirement is 105 overall, with nothing below 90. Now that's equivalent to IELTS 6 with nothing below 5.5. Some of our courses require IELTS 6.5 with nothing below 6. So if you need that, then the Duolingo score would be 115 with nothing below 105. So it kind of depends what the IELTS requirement is for your course, but 90% of our courses will be Duolingo 105 with nothing below 90.
Right, okay, thank you. Next question. Can I ask something? Yeah, you can. Go on, please. What medical, Harminder, what medical courses are available for undergraduates?
Yeah, thanks, Harminder. So what I perhaps should have said when I was talking about the subject areas is the one kind of main thing that's missing from Bangor is a full medical program. So we don't have the 5 or 7 year full medical program at the moment. That is coming in the future, and there have been decisions to open a full medical school in Bangor University, which will be fantastic news for us. It will definitely attract more students. But at the moment, we do have BSc medical science courses, biomedical sciences, biology. We do have a range of medical courses available. If I just head to the website, I could probably show you actually, if I share my screen. Medical. Level of study, UG. Yeah, so what I'll do, if I can share my screen. StreamYard, do I want to do that? Right, let's see if I can do this. So hopefully you can see here, these are all the courses we have at an undergraduate level that have medical in the title. So you can see there medical sciences, 3-year medical sciences program. If maybe your high school results aren't strong enough, we can give you the foundation year. We have medical biology, biomedical science. So yeah, we have a few range of courses available. I don't think it's right for me to go into each of them and discuss exactly what you would study. But for sure, please do visit the website and you can find out in more detail exactly what you'd be studying in terms of the modules that you would be studying.
One question I have, the medicine courses, right? A lot of students have queries, they want to become a doctor in future. Is there any course that would help them to become a doctor? I think the medicine courses are the ones, the most suitable ones. So do you have medicine courses? I've seen it on the screen.
Yeah, so basically that last option which you saw, it said medicine North Wales. What it is students would start their medical, or they would enroll in Cardiff University, but then they have the option to study that in Bangor. So basically we teach Cardiff's medical program in Bangor in North Wales. So it wouldn't be appropriate to say that it's Bangor's own medical program. But as I said, in a few years, there are plans to open our own medical school. So if there are students who are saying, look, I want to be a legitimate doctor, Bangor wouldn't be the best place for them to do that. You'd be looking at the bigger institutions like Liverpool, Cardiff, Swansea, Manchester, Birmingham, Leeds, Newcastle, these kinds of places. But hopefully, come back in a few years and we'll have medicine available.
Okay, right. Thank you for that. Next question: how much work experience required for MBA? We've answered this during the presentation. There is no work experience requirement for any MBA courses at Bangor University, so you do not need work experience. Next question. I can't read that Hindi name, but I can read the question. It's probably Hindi. I don't even know what language is it. Any restriction to apply from any region of India? Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. So there weren't any massive restrictions, I would say. The only kind of restrictions are if you're from Punjab state, where you will need to do IELTS. IELTS would be mandatory if you're from Punjab state. And if you're from a Punjabi education board, you would need 85% in your 12th examinations compared to 70% from other states in India. So that's the only restriction, I would say. Nothing else that I can think of right now.
Okay. So Punjab, even if they have, say, for example, someone with 90%, still they would, in terms of English requirement, they would need to have IELTS.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if it is below 85% in standard 12 from Punjab, then they wouldn't be considered.
No, they wouldn't be considered. Yeah. They may be offered the pathway program. So, via Oxford International, we have a pathway program, a foundation year, sometimes they're called as well. So they might be offered that depending on their score. But we would need to just look at the overall profile of the student, really.
Yeah, the pathway foundation through Oxford International, they don't also accept Punjab for foundation, as I know it. Next, another thing, Haryana. There is no restriction for Haryana.
No restrictions for Haryana. What I would say is that there are some states in India where your visa application will be judged more strictly, depending on which state you're from. I can't go into too much detail about that, I'm afraid, but as long as you're a genuine student, you have nothing to worry about. As long as you're a genuine student with a genuine intention to study in the UK, you don't have anything to worry about.
Fantastic. That answers it, actually. Precisely, I would say. Yeah, yeah. It's actually Abhishek. The name I couldn't read, so thank you, Abhishek Verma. How much scholarship is available for PG students?
Yeah, thanks, Abhishek. So it kind of depends on your grades, really. If you are below a first class, so if you're not first class, basically you're looking at around £3,000, up to £3,000 maximum. If you are a first class student, then you're looking at about £8,000 or £9,000 maximum. But as I kind of said before, there's a little bit of a distinction. So we have automatic scholarships of up to £5,000, which all you need to do is submit your application to the university and you'll automatically be offered that. And I said, if you're first class, you'll be offered £5,000, up to £5,000. If you have that first class, then you can also apply for our Vice Chancellor's Scholarship, which is 50% off your tuition fees. Now, I don't know which course you're interested in, Abhishek, but let's just assume it's MBA because that's a very popular program. The MBA course is £17,800. So if you got the Vice Chancellor's Scholarship, you would receive an £8,900 scholarship, which is, you know, a sizable amount of money.
Yeah, yeah. We are getting queries from the students, the existing offer holders, I would say, and they have got their automatic scholarship stated on the offer letter. If some of them are requesting if they can be considered for higher amount of scholarship, is that something we can request for, or is it a final?
I mean, it's not really something we would really consider too much, because if that was a policy, then everybody would just email us saying we want more scholarship, we want more money. You know, we wouldn't want to encourage that. Our admissions team are very, very experienced. They have been working for, you know, most of them over 10 years in admissions, so they know about the qualification criteria. They're familiar with the equivalency. So I would say that you know, the scholarship offer on your letter is pretty much final. The only time I would say yes to that is if it's clearly a mistake. So, for example, if the student is first class and they've only been given £2,000, then that's clearly a mistake, and they should be receiving £5,000, between £4,000 and £5,000. So, in that case, then yes. What I should also say, where these current students with offers, they might be getting confused. Our scholarships are split 50-50. So 50% is tuition fees and 50% is accommodation. Now, on our offer letters, the number will always just be related to the tuition fee scholarship. But under that number, there's a very, very important sentence, which a lot of people miss, that says you will receive the same amount for your accommodation. Now, the reason that the university does this is it wants to encourage students to stay in the university accommodation, because previously there has been issues of international students renting privately and getting into a lot of financial trouble, getting into a lot of arguments with the landlord, because when you go privately, you are responsible for everything, not the university. They don't help you. You have to organize your rental contract, your gas, your water, electricity, your Wi-Fi, your council tax. I can't even put my fingers on the screen. You have to organize all of these things yourself. And if you're a postgraduate student, you're only here for 1 year. You don't want to be dealing with that rubbish. That's a very complicated thing to have to deal with as well. So we split the scholarships to encourage students to stay in the university accommodation. And, you know, students generally, when they think about studying overseas, they only think of tuition fees. They don't think about the living costs. But the fact is you're getting an overall reduction. So you're still getting, so if you've got £4,000, it'll be £2,000 for tuition fees, £2,000 for accommodation, but it's still £4,000. You're still saving £4,000. And the other thing I would say about university accommodation is that you're going to get the chance to meet other people. And that's what university is all about. It's meeting new people, different backgrounds, different ways of thinking about the world, and making friends. You know, I look back in my personal experience of university accommodation, I made some great friends in the university halls. So that's kind of, I'm just explaining the reason why they split the scholarship, but it's still an overall reduction. You double it basically. So
yeah, but one thing is the scholarship that is given for accommodation part, right? A lot of students, what they think, okay, they are applying for visa, and then until there is a decision, what is going to happen if they pay for the scholarship? Sorry, if they pay for the accommodation as well before getting the visa. What do you say in that regard? Obviously, if there's something wrong with the visa decision, then they will be eligible for refund, right? And then they will be eligible for refund on the accommodation fee as well. And it's not that Bangor's accommodation is way more expensive than the private ones. I suppose it's not.
No.
In some cases, it could be even cheaper to go for the university accommodation. So if that is the case and you get extra scholarship, which is a financial support for accommodation, then it's a win-win from both perspectives. You're getting university accommodation, you're getting it for cheaper, and if in the unlikely event of visa refusal, you're getting it back. So there's nothing you are losing here. A lot of students have misconception about it, so I just wanted to clarify this. It's better to go for a Bangor University accommodation because you're going to save a lot of money.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a question of saving money, but also saving you time and stress as well. There's a lot of stress involved. Trust me, I have rented, and it's very stressful when you're dealing with a landlord, when you're dealing with a gas company who gets everything wrong, when you're dealing with an electricity company who gets everything wrong. It's very difficult. It's very stressful. You're only here for a year. Don't waste your time, effort, money, and patience on renting privately, I would say.
Yeah. We are flooded with the questions, so I'll have to.
Yeah, sure.
Otherwise, we'll run out of time. How many interviews does Bangor take in total?
So for the majority of our courses, you don't need to have an interview. If you are from Bangladesh, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, or Nepal, you will be required to do a precast interview, which is basically a practice interview for your visa interview. Because when you apply for your UK visa from the UK VI, UK Visas and Immigration, if you're from those countries, you will have to do an interview to get your visa. So we offer this service to help you feel comfortable, to help you feel confident. So if you're from Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, or Nepal, then at least one interview. If you're from India, we will assess your profile, and you may also be required to do a visa interview, but we will a precast interview. Sorry, we will let you know about that. For some courses, you may also need to do an interview as well. So, for example, the MSc counselling course, it's a very competitive program with only a few places. So they do interviews to choose who the best candidates are. So if, for example, you're from Pakistan and you are applying for MSc counselling, you'd have to do 2 interviews. So it kind of depends which country you're from. But generally speaking, it's 1 or none.
Okay, thank you. Next question. I'm doing diploma in computer technology after SSC. So I suppose this is from Bangladesh. I hadn't done HSC. Is there any study abroad program for me?
Yeah, thanks, Farah. It would depend on the level or which diploma that you're doing, and you'd go into a bachelor's program, maybe with a foundation year as well. So yes, there are definitely programs available, and if you're interested, I would encourage you to apply. Speak to Bashir and his team, and they can find the right course for you.
Yeah, the contact numbers of our branch officers are scrolling down the screen, and obviously you can also email us, visit our website, apply online through our website. Just try to reach out to us. Obviously, you're currently doing diploma, so until it is finished, we don't have a clear picture, but definitely there is a solution for you. You can apply for one of the foundation programs, I guess, if not the bachelor, depending on the marks. If it's lower than foundation, if not, then direct bachelor. But we'll be able to help you if you get in touch with us. Next question, Sharmin Islam. I'm from Bangladesh. I completed diploma in computer engineering. Can I apply direct BSc in CSE? And what is English requirement? I think we need to know the marks before we can say.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to the previous question. We can accept people with diplomas, but it depends on your marks and the length of the course as well, the length of the diploma. In terms of English requirements, I think you need IELTS 6.0 with nothing below 5.5. So if you're doing Duolingo, that would be 105 overall with nothing below 90 for the English.
Right. Okay. Next question. How many students are being offered 50% scholarship? I don't think there is a fixed number.
Yeah, there is. It's a good question. Otherwise, we'd be given 50%. It costs the university a lot of money if we were giving 50% scholarships to everyone with the first class. So it's kind of every department has between 5 and 10 of them available to give away. Now, you might say, "Oh, that's not many," but maybe it's not. But not everybody is going to be a first class student, and even if they are, they might not apply. If you don't apply, you have zero chance of getting it. If you do apply, you have some chance of getting it. So it kind of depends on which department you're applying for. Some have 10 to 15, others only have 5 or 3. So, the most popular courses, the most popular subject areas will have more available. So, Charmaine, I would, if you're a first class student, you should definitely apply because you've got a chance of getting one.
Right. Next question. What is the minimum score of Duolingo? We covered it. 90. 105 overall, not below 90. For the courses that request 6.0 with no component below 5.5.
Yeah.
Can anyone apply with MY from Bangladesh? No. From
Not
India?
at the moment, Abdul, but however you prefer to be called. We are considering it. So maybe next year we may be accepting MOI from Bangladesh. But India, sorry, I just seen India on the end of that question. If you're from India or if you've studied in India, so for example, if you're from Bangladesh but you did your degree in India, then we could accept that as an MOI.
Okay, given that the 70%, it would be a bit tricky, isn't it? Because if the HSC is from Bangladesh and the bachelor degree is from India, what do you do?
Yeah. A case-by-case basis, really. Yeah, we'd have to make an assessment on that.
Yeah. Do you accept study gap for UG? Muthu Lakshmi.
Thanks for the question, Muthu. It would be a bit unique for someone to have a study gap after high school before doing a bachelor's. If in the study gap, it depends what you've been doing really in the study gap. If you've just been at home watching TV doing nothing, then we wouldn't probably do anything. But if you've been working in that period, then you'd definitely be considered. And again, the length of the gap kind of has an impact as well. So for example, if it's 5 years and you've been doing nothing, there's no point, to be honest with you, applying. If it's 5 years and for the first 2 you were maybe doing nothing, but for the last 3 you were working, then that's much better. As long as you've been doing something constructive in your gap, then that's fine.
And the question is for UG. After doing the high school qualification, if you don't continue study, that's a serious credibility issue. So
yeah.
So better to have, even if you have work experience, it's actually subjective. If it's too much, let's say 5-6 years, still it would be case by case basis. I wouldn't say it's a straightforward decision. Yeah. So the same type of question: how much gap is acceptable? There's no fixed number of years, but it is subjective and it depends on the profile, case by case basis. Next question: direct diploma. What is it? I don't know. Maybe it's following up with the previous one. I remember. Yeah. Anyways, let's move on. Okay. I did my master's and want to do PhD. Does Bangor offer scholarship or any facilities for PhD students?
Hi, Khan. Yep. Thanks for the question. Yes, we definitely do offer scholarships for our PhD students. There have just been some new scholarships announced specifically for our research students. Let me just have a very quick look because I'm slightly unfamiliar with them myself. They're still very, very recent. So yes, the Vice Chancellor Scholarship we have available for PhD. So 50% off your first year fees, and then up to £3,000 in years 2 and years 3. Then we have the Dean Scholarship available for PhD students, which would be 20% off each year of study. So that's a little bit different to the first one. So that's 20% reduction in each year of study. Then we have something called the Head of School Scholarship, which is a 10% reduction in each year of study. Let me just check the Vice Chancellor's one, sorry. Oh, sorry, I'm wrong. So the Vice Chancellor's one is also 50% on each year of study as well. Now, unfortunately, the deadlines for these have now passed. That was 25th of June if you were starting in September. The Dean's Scholarship doesn't seem to have a deadline. So if you're interested in the 20% PhD scholarship, that's available now. And the 10% one is also available, but the Vice Chancellor's one is closed. But it will be open again for January. So if you're a PhD student or an MPhil or another research student, there's some really good scholarships again available for you guys.
Yeah, there's no fixed intake for PhD.
Yeah, no fixed intake. Students can start at any point during the year.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Prashant Holcomb, how about placements after course finish?
The majority of our courses, don't come with the placement year or a placement option, but you will have the full support of the University Career Service during your studies and after you graduate to help you find a job, basically, after you graduate. You'll also have the support of your department as well. So, for example, if you do business, you'll have the support of the business school to help you find a placement or a job opportunity. And they might be able to make an introduction to a friend in a company related to the studies that you've done.
Okay, right. Murad, will you accept Duolingo 105, one component 85?
Yeah, thanks, Murad. Unfortunately not. We have to be quite strict on this because it would be unfair to allow someone with an element below, but to refuse other people with it below. So we did this previously and it didn't work because if you have 85, there's a noticeable difference between 85 and 90 in the quality. So it is 105 overall with nothing below 90. What I would say is just, study a bit, maybe do a couple of weeks of study, try and improve, bring up your English level, and then have another go at Duolingo.
Yeah, it also depends on which course. If it's undergraduate or postgraduate, depending on that. Because if it's undergraduate, then you can probably apply for a foundation year leading to bachelor, the pathway.
Yeah, so if you have one element below, you could do maybe the foundation year or one of our English courses, one of our pre-sessional English courses at Bangor. They are all online at the moment. So I think if you're only below in one, it's like 1 or 2 month online English course to bring up your level. And then you just proceed onto your course. So we couldn't accept direct entry, I'm afraid, with 85 in one, but there's various options. So you can take it again. You can do the LCOS course, the online English course, or you can do the foundation pathway course with OIEG.
Yeah. And Murad, just get in touch with us. I think it is manageable for you with the foundation, or it is also possible for a direct bachelor entry, but get in touch with us. We will be able to help you. Next question, do you accept academic or employment MOI for Bangladeshi students? Academic, no. Employment, I think there's no MOI accepted currently. Yeah, no. But I think this is possible for India, right?
Yeah, India it is possible. So if you had a study gap, or if you had a study gap, and you've been working, we can accept a letter from your employer just to confirm that your day-to-day business was conducted in English. That's fine.
Okay. Murad, the same person, OIETC, what is the score you're looking for bachelor degree?
It's B2 plus, I think, which I can't remember.
It's
what
actually,
that would be.
yeah, B2 plus overall with no component below B2.
That's the one, thanks.
That is actually overall 6, no component below 5.5. Yeah, so once again, Murad, get in touch with us. The contact details are down below. We will be able to help you. Tell us something about the interview. We've already covered what is it exactly? When is the perfect time to apply for CAS? We've also covered that. There's no time, but the sooner you apply.
I mean, you don't apply for CAS. You basically need to meet all the conditions of your offer, pay the deposit, then you will be issued with a CAS. You don't apply for the CAS.
Okay, that's fine. A compliment. Thank you for the thanks, Ramandip. So the same. What is the requirement for undergraduate? I mean to say, how many GPA you need to apply for direct course?
Depends which country you're from. I'm going to take a massive guess and say Bangladesh based on the name. So apologies if you're not from Bangladesh, but we'll go off that anyway. Let's have a quick look, just double check. So for direct entry, you'd be looking at 4.5 GPA for direct entry. Anything below 4.5, you would be offered a foundation course. So don't worry too much about that if you don't meet 4.5.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Umar, how much scholarship are available for UG? We've covered this quite a few times. Thanks for your reply. So, okay, that's cool. How much visa ratio in pathway course?
I guess he maybe means about visa refusals potentially. That would be something, visa refusals on pathway course. That would be information you'd have to ask from our pathway provider, which would be OIEG. That's not data I have to hand at the moment. I would say that the visa ratio is probably quite high, probably somewhere in the 90s, because they will do checks to make sure that you would meet the requirements. Because what they're looking for is, do you meet the requirements? Is this a genuine student? So somewhere in the 90s would be my guess, but I don't have an exact number, sorry.
Yeah. Next one, does Bangor offer DBA program?
Yeah, we do have a DBA available. So, have a look on the website about those programs. We do have some available, yeah.
Okay. Afsana, so I can read Bengali, that's why. Do you offer any internal English test? What's the test fee?
Yeah, so we did offer an internal test, but because of COVID, we're not able to offer that at the moment. But we've spoken today about Duolingo and OIETC tests, which is there are various other English tests that you can do online from your home, and Duolingo is the most common one of those. So that is the one I would recommend. I'm not sure about the fee. I think it's not expensive. It's less than £100, I think. I'd need to double check exactly how much. 49, I feel.
80.
Oh, okay, there you go. So it's definitely less than 100, but it's cheaper than IELTS. So I would recommend you do Duolingo, Afsana.
Yeah. Oh, so you meant to say no? So sorry, I was talking about OIETC. OIETC is 80, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, Duolingo. I don't know the current price, but yeah, it is very. It's cheap. It's cheap. Cheaper than IELTS, definitely.
I'm pretty sure it was 49, but that was a few months ago. They might have increased it because it's quite popular now. But yeah, give Duolingo or IETC test a go, Afsana.
Next one, OIETC. What is the score you're looking for? Bachelor degree. Yeah, B2 plus, with no component below B2. In Duolingo, I have 105, but production I have 80. Can I apply for pathway? I know the answer. The answer is no. OIEG, they don't accept 80. The minimum they accept is 85 in one component. Yeah, okay. But pre-sessional is available, or retake Duolingo because you're narrowly missing. So maybe you should be fine for pathway with one more test. Yeah, so Soikot is now happy. Thank you for valuable information. Thanks, Soikot. Thanks from Charmin as well. And then, yeah, we are pretty much done. So, Morgan, any concluding remarks?
Yes, a big thank you to everyone, to the students for joining today. Thanks to Bashir and BWB for putting on the session today. You know, I know it's a really difficult time still to be an international student and to decide if now is the right time to study overseas. But you know, what I would say is that we're in a better place than we were 12 months ago. We know what we're dealing with now. There are measures in place to keep people safe. There are people with more vaccinations. You know, we know what we're dealing with now. So it's a much safer time to come overseas and to study. Yeah, and hopefully you've received all the information you need from me today, and myself and Bashir. If you do need any further information, then you can obviously reach out to myself or to Bashir and his team. You know, we really look forward to receiving your application and helping you to enroll in a UK university.
Thank you very much, Morgan. It was a very informative and useful session, and I would like to thank you for joining us today. And hopefully we'll be able to see you some other time in future, as always. And then I have one question on the comments which I wanted to pull up. Actually, it's an important question. Can I do it?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, this one.
Yeah, thanks, Soikot. So yes, I did mention before that we will cover the cost of the 10-day quarantine for when you come to the UK. We're still deciding exactly how that's going to, you know, how we're going to pay for that, but we're definitely going to pay for it. It will most probably be a reduction in your tuition fees. So you're paying less for your tuition fees, but you have to pay yourself for the quarantine, but we would just reduce your tuition fees. So you're still, you know, it balances out. Anybody from a red list country who's applying will be able to get that. Do keep an eye out on our website for more information about that. If you are an existing offer holder, you will be emailed about it. We will also share this information with BWBS once it's available in its kind of full guidance, and we'll put it on our website as well. So the answer is yes, we will cover that cost.
It never stops, actually. I think this is the last one, and then we're stopping. Yeah. Okay. I'm Deepika. I want to know, can student with 7 years education gap with experience can be applicable for bachelor in health science?
Thanks, Deepika. Yeah, it's hard to say without seeing your full profile, but it says with experience, so it suggests you've been doing some kind of work. So we need to see the full application. So I'm not going to say flat out no, but I can't say 100% yes either. So definitely submit your application to Bashir and his colleagues, and we can have a look at it. We can have a look at it for you. There's no risk, you know. It's free to apply with BWBS, and it's free. There's no application fee for Bangor University, so there's no risk to you in having your application considered.
Okay, so that's it for today. And once again, thank you ever so much, Morgan. It was a nice and useful session, and we look forward to meeting you in future in some other events. Thank you so much. And I'm signing off from here, BW. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye now.
Thank you.